أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم والتابعين إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. اللهم ارزقنا علما نافعا ورزقا واسعا وشفاء من كل داء، ونعوذ بك من علم لا ينفع ومن قلب لا يخشع ومن عين لا تدمع ومن نفس لا تشبع ومن دعاء لا يستجاب له. آمين آمين يا رب العالمين. اللهم ألهمنا وسددنا، اللهم ألهمنا رشدنا وقنا شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا. اللهم أتمم علينا نعمك ظاهرة وباطنة، واسترنا فوق الأرض وتحت الأرض ويوم العرض عليك، وأرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه، وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه، وضع البركة والنور والقبول فيما نفعل وفيما نقول، واجعلنا من الصادقين، واجعلنا من المخلصين، واجعلنا من المخلصين، واجعلنا من أوليائك الصالحين وجندك المنصورين. وصلى اللهم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد. Today, when you look our salah, our condition, division, disunity, fighting each other, status, you name it, all this word coming from only one thing. You know what is that? It's called love of dunya. Love of dunya. What is dunya? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called this life dunya. And when you read in the Quran, I shared it with you almost like close to 6 months ago, 48 verse. Just 48. I collected for you. Is this the only one? No, there's many more. Warning us about dunya. And how many ahadith? Plenty. Warning us about dunya. Let's examine the word dunya by itself. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called our life, where we're living now, is hayatul dunya. The life of dunya. What is dunya? Word dunya, linguistic, meaning the things, is very low, very short, very discreet. This is what dunya is. Dunya coming from dana. The things is very short, very low, very discreet. And this is why you find many ahadith, especially ahadith Qudsiyya, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never looked to the dunya from the time He created. And you find many ahadith about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cursed dunya and everything in dunya, except of three. And there's many ahadith about that. Amrun bima'ruf, wa nahyin an munkar, wa dhikrun lillah. To permit what is right, forbid what is evil, and remember Allah. Another hadith, الدنيا ملعونة ملعون ما فيها. Dunya is cursed and everything is cursed except ما كان لله وما والاه. Except anything for Allah or belong to Allah. Any moment you remember Allah is for you. Any moment you do something for sabilillah is for you. And anything you spend it for this life is against you. Imagine how many now hours for dunya and how many minutes for akhirah. Like one scholar, he said something so beautiful. He said, look at the people today, what they talk about it. Look at the people today, what they're thinking about. Look at the people today when they meet each other, what they talk about it. In the affair of dunya, everybody is a pioneer. Pioneer in knowledge, pioneer in talking, pioneer in giving consultation. Oh, where you been? Oh, such and such. What are you doing? Oh, I was buying this. No, no, no. Don't buy it from here. Buy it from here. And all of a sudden, half an hour, 45 minutes about what is the best place to buy such and such. Or I meet people many hour talking about this restaurant and this restaurant and this food and this food and the different. That's why if we're spending our time talking about food, talking about restaurant, talking about hotel, talking about malls, what it mean? Dunya. Dunya. That's why the scholar said, he said, look at the believer of akhirah. Look at the believer of the hereafter. Their talk is dunya. Their thinking is dunya. Their consultation between each other is dunya. They promote dunya. They occupy themselves with dunya. But they are a liar. They said we belong to akhirah. You see, they said we belong to akhirah. In meantime, when you look at the companion of Rasulullah, when they meet each other, they remind each other of akhirah. They remind each other of what they achieved for akhirah. And they talk about akhirah. And they split between each other, or they go, each one his own way, with Surah Al-Asr, chapter or Asr, and remind each other about the ending. Now, how many of us, Assalamu alaikum, alaikum assalam, how is your akhirah? Did you ever see this? How is your grave? What do you prepare for your grave today? Believe me, last week I was visiting a very dear, beautiful brother. I know him now for 11, 12 years. He's actually the brother of another brother. Originally, he's the one I love him so much. And this brother, early 60, and most likely he's leaving. He's leaving. Allah give me a gift. When I see people, I have a feeling. The moment I saw him, he's leaving. And he's leaving soon, very soon. But how fast soon, I do not know. It's in the hand of Allah. It can be a month, it can be 2 months, it can be 3 months, it can be 4 months, but will not be too long. Why I say that? Who am I? Number one, I look at his eyes. The shiny of his eyes is gone. And the eye become broken, lonely. This one state. The eyes is gone. And something I learned from knowing my father, rahmatullah alayhi. When my father had cancer, and the cancer spread, he lost weight so fast. And he has a special smell coming from his mouth, like almost burning smell. You can smell it away. And a lot of burping, not normal, with empty stomach. And the person become very weak, very fatigued. And exactly I remember what the doctor said to my father. The same exactly. They cannot eat. And what my doctor said to my father, which is 37 years ago, he said, you have a virus in the stomach. The same thing with the brother. Because usually the cancer do not kill you. Cancer make you feel so weak, so fatigued, immune system is very weak. And now you will get something. You will get a virus, you will get pneumonia, you will get tuberculosis, you will get infection. Whereas with the cancer keep destroying your body, immune system until you become so weak, so fatigued, and makes the organ you cannot eat, you cannot drink, you cannot digest. And little by little you become dehydrated in your own body. And in the meantime, this brother, I was praying with him, and I saw something. When I make sajda and I get up, I saw a beautiful piece of art, very beautiful, very expensive. And something came in my heart. How old is it? How heavy is it? How expensive is it? Is he taking with him? Meaning, is he taking with him in the grave? No. What's the value? Because once we die, we're not taking anything around us. All what call valuable around us is not taken. This was an antique hunter. The people who really look for antique, how they buy it? They buy it from people just died. And the inheritance people do not know the value of the antique. By this way, they get rid of it for any price. Because the dead people know the value. They died and they never enjoyed the price of their antique. And usually, the people who inherit it, they're not aware about it. Or they're in a rush. By this way, they give it to a dealer to auction it, to get anything for it. What does it mean? A loser. Where's your gold? No. Where's your beautiful clothing? No. Where's your bed and comfort? No. And now, what the difference between a believer and disbeliever or non-believer? The believer aim for akhirah, feel for akhirah, think about akhirah, love akhirah. Why? Jannah inshallah, and fear Jahannam. And also love to meet Allah, the one we love us, and we love Him. By this way, if you claim you love Allah, you want to meet Allah. Last week, I don't know if I share it with you, when one brother called me 46 minutes after midnight. Did I share it with you? Yes or no?
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
The brother who went to Brazil, right?
No. Brazil, what Allah yaftah alayk. Okay, what happened is, this brother called me almost close to 1 o'clock in the morning, and he told me urgent. I said, what is it? He said, I was playing with my wife over internet with a group of people, and one lady embraced Islam. This lady, believe it or not, now her family give her a hard time. And what she announced? She announced, I love my family, but I love my Lord most. And I'm willing to sacrifice my family for my love of my Lord. And she's only one day a Muslim. And her family is very upset with her because she become obsessed of seeking knowledge. She cannot wait to know everything about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yesterday, I met one brother from Indonesia. He told me a story, a really fresh story. The story about a man, Indonesian Muslim, has a family, successful business, but he doesn't have the paper, the resident paper. And the time come, and they have to deport him. He go to a lawyer. I did not know who is the lawyer. He advised him. He said, apply for asylum. And to make it easy for you, put a Christian name. Now he go change his name to a Christian name. And he go to a church with the intention to have friendship from church people. And he announced he's a Christian. And he follow up the asylum case and is denied. And USA rejected him, sent him back to Indonesia. When he went back to Indonesia, he felt so sorrow. He lost the business and he lost the paper and he might not be able to come back for many years. He was so ill to the point he died. What the state of his death? What the purpose of his death? Look what dunya do. He lost his faith for a piece of dunya. One person, he said, if dunya is clay and akhirah is gold, we should work for it. And he said, and even if dunya is gold and akhirah is clay, but we know the akhirah is the one staying, we should work for akhirah. Do you get it or no? Because what value of this life, it will never stay. You will never go back to become young. You will never live forever. From the day we born, we doomed to die. It's just when. It's not if, it's when. By this way, all the disease we have, if you read all the ahadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, it's about dunya. You remember the famous hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam when he said, very soon, nation will come around you. The way the animal coming over their own prey. They said, Ya Rasulullah, at this time, because we are a very small number? He said, no, a lot. But like bubble in the air or bubble over the water. They said, why, Ya Rasulullah? He said, because you have wahan. They said, what is wahan, Ya Rasulullah? He said, loving dunya and hating to die. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will snatch the dignity and respect from the heart of your enemy and fill your heart with weakness and defeat. Today I want you to be careful. Some people have no dunya at all. Money, no. Car, no. This, no. This, no. But they have dunya. Dunya doesn't mean you have material. The companion of Rasulullah used to say, we the companion of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, our dunya in our hand and our deen in our heart. When akhirah arrive, We spend of what we have in our hand, meaning dunya, to promote akhirah. And the time will come. You people will have dunya in your heart and the deen in your hand. And when dunya arrives, you're willing to spend of your deen to achieve your dunya. You get it? Today, any topic arrives, we're willing to do anything. We're willing to delay salah, we're willing to delay things, we're willing to work in a bad environment. We're willing to do anything to achieve a piece of material life in the price of our deen. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. You remember the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam when he was walking with a companion in the suburb of Medina, and he saw a goat is dead, rotten, and he said to the companion, "Do you think the owner of this goat values this goat?" They said, "Ya Rasulullah, if they value the goat, they will never throw him dead like that." He said, "Wallahi, this dunya is so insignificant in the eye of Allah more than this goat in the eye of his owner." What it means? If the owner of the goat values the goat, he will throw him away. He's a dead goat, dead and rotten. Why the owner throw him? No value. That's why they said, dunya is gifa. Dunya is like a garbage dump. And the lover of dunya is the dogs around it, the one who want it. Don't be among them. Don't compete of trying to achieve the maximum garbage you want to gain. And also Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, one time he was walking, and he was Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu was him, and he saw the garbage dump in Medina. He said, "You see this?" He said, "Yes." He said, "This is the dunya you're running after. Look what the people did. There's the luxury, there's the sweet, there's the material life." And he said, "Wallahi, it's not the poverty I worry about it, but I worry about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala open the blessing of the bottom of the earth, and you will fight over it until it destroys you the way it destroys the people before you." Some scholar told this hadith and said, it is the oil, it is the gold, it is the diamond. Look at everywhere you see diamond, people fighting. Look at the trick, they did it in Africa. They did documentary, it's called Blood for Diamond. Watch it. See how many people die every day just for a piece of diamond. Look at all the most richest place on earth, how people fight with each other. Like one sister, she was telling me something so beautiful. When you look at the most beautiful resort in the whole earth, the most beautiful beaches, Who inhabited these beaches? Very simple people, very poor, very poor. They live in these beaches. And the rich people paying a lot of money just to go to visit for a few days. When you look in the Caribbean, Jamaica, Maldives, whatever island, all this island, you find the native people, very simple people. They go fishing, eating, and that's it. And the rich people paying thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars just to go to enjoy a few days in the beach. I swear, subhanallah. The poor people enjoying living in the beach for free. And the rich people pay a lot of money just to go for a few days. What about the people in the jungle? They eat organic food. They living in a healthy environment. Free. Free. We the one we complicated our life. Do you know right now in the United States, what is the most powerful two business is two. Funeral home and hospitals. They are the most growing business today in America. You know, when a person died, there's a lot of money. To the point the poor people, they said, when I die, burn me. By this way, it did not cost you too much. With the burial expense and all this is expensive. Poor human being. By this way, is many ahadith, many is not one, about this topic. About Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam warn us about the opening of dunya. Look at the Arabic people before oil and the Arabic people after oil. They have documentary about that. I forget it's BBC or Al Jazeera. It's an Arabic people before oil. They're very sweet, very humble, very down earth, very generous, very kind, very soft. Imagine, you see all this quality? Go find some. And after oil, arrogant, stingy, cheating, greed. Imagine when you have nothing, you find. And once you have, go to any restaurant and ask the waiter or waitress, who is the worst customer? He said, the most richest people. They drive me crazy and no tips. The more rich you are, the more demanding, like a stupid child, the more arrogant, and you cannot give tips. One of the early people who said, be careful about dunya. It's worse than sihr, it's worse than magic. It decorated itself in your eye, it make you believe in it, and destroy you. And we know we're never going to live forever. We know we're going to die. We know after death is no death. What it means? Death in Islam is not an end, or is not the final chapter. Death in Islam is a transition. Like, for example, when you are in the belly of your mom, you didn't die. You died from the belly of your mom, and you came to this life, which is different life, meaning you've been transit from one style to life to another style of life. And this is what all the believer mean. Once we die, we're going to Hayatul Barzakh, the life of Barzakh. What is it? Life of Barzakh? The waiting state. I was visiting one brother, Asif Rahmatullah alayhi, yesterday, and I talked to Allah because Asif Rahmatullah alayhi, he was working with me in the time of developing the website, and he was doing the editing of the name of Allah. And I tell him, Asif, there's the name of Allah. Maybe one of this name can save you in the day of judgment, Ya Asif. Work very hard. Maybe one of this name. And look, now almost 5 years go by. Where he is, he's in the grave. He's in the grave. I met him in the age of 20. He dies 22. Is anybody exempt? Do we know who's next? By this way, today, the more you engage and indulge in dunya, you become blind. What meaning blind? Blind from akhirah. Blind from where you're going. Blind with what happened of your soul after death. Because you remember, what is the grave? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said the grave is the first stage of your qiyamah, is the first stage of day of judgment for you. If it's easy, the one after that is easy. And if it's difficult, the one after that is more difficult. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said of the meaning of your grave, either a piece of Jahannam, a piece of hellfire, or a valley of paradise. And this was the difference between a believer and disbeliever or non-believer. We work for life after death. What we're trying to achieve? We're trying to achieve a relationship between us and Allah to gain the rahmah of Allah, the mercy of Allah. So when He take us, He's the one He take us. We do not know when. And we hope He take us with His rahmah. By this way, ask ourselves, when we meet each other, what we talk about, what we're thinking about, what we desire, what we aiming for, what we wishing for, what we want to achieve, what we loving, whom we love, for what purpose we love. And you remember, if you love Allah, if you remember Allah, if you do tasbih to Allah, if you thank Allah, and the moment of death come, what will happen? You said, Ya Allah, Allah tell you, Labbaik Abdi. Here am I, my servant, to serve you. La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu min al-dhalimin. This is our condition today. We are in it, fighting each other for what? It's a weak hadith, but it's a weak hadith. Rasulullah said in the end of time, the killer You ask him, what you killing for? He said, I don't know. And the killed one in the day of judgment, Allah will ask him, what you die for? He said, I don't know. Look at today, how many people died and how many people killing, and they do not know. Who is the killer and why? Who is the killed one and why? You remember when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He called dunya also Zahrat al-Hayat al-Dunya, the flower of dunya. The scholar take this ayah in Quran and ahadith, because repeated also in ayat and ahadith. They said, when you leave the flower, you get the fruit, you get the crops. And when you cut the flower, you lose the fruit. Which one is short? The flower, you enjoy it for a short time, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and finished. It's become very weak, and the enjoyment of the flower is very limited. But if you leave the flower where it is in the tree and you don't touch it, very soon you get the fruit, which you can benefit from it. Isa alayhi salam, he said, you will never have in your heart, or you will never have a straight heart with two love. Either you love this dunya or love akhirah. He said this is similar to the fire and water. They will never be in one place. You cannot contain water and fire in one place. Similar about dunya. You can go to any books about dunya, ahadith, ayat, report. It's a lot, more than you imagine. But the problem today, we're not talking about it. We talk about dunya. We're running after dunya. Now, how we can have good salah? Good salah coming when we really belong to akhirah, belong to Allah. And that's why now, the love of the kids, the love of the husband, the love of the wife, the love of the house, the love of this, the love of that. Dunya. Dunya. Isa alayhi salam, he said, disgrace to the owner of dunya. He collect and he leave it. And he keep thinking about it and betrayed him. And he love and he leave whom he who love. And he will never gain anything from it. And in the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will show him the truth about himself. Ya Allah, are we believing akhirah? How many women will think about akhirah? How much we work for akhirah? How much we give for akhirah? Time, money, love, devotion, thinking, thought, emotion. Because like the early people, they said, we talk about akhirah, but our heart full of dunya. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. Isa alayhi salam one time, he said to the disciple, his Hawariyin, he was walking over the water and he said, get me some stuff to build a house. He said, Ya Rawh Allah, how you build a house over the water? He said, this is exactly what you people do. You try to build over something, it will never stay. Just like the person who tried to build over the water. He will never build because the water will never stay. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. And today when you talk like that, the people said 50-50. How we balance, brother? How we balance? Give me one ayah, one verse in Quran, one hadith, one anything. You remember verse 7 and 8 from Surah Al-Kahf, the cave. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِنَّا جَعَلْنَا مَعَ الْأَرْضَ زِينَةً لَهَا. We decorated the earth. لِنَبْلُوَهُمْ أَيُّهُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا. Imagine Allah decorate the earth to see who's among us best good deeder. وَإِنَّا لَجَاعِلُونَ مَا عَلَيْهَا صَعِيدًا جُرُزًا. And whatever in the top of the earth, we will make it finished. We destroy it. One of the early people said, you will never get up in the morning and you gain something except from the people who left it from yesterday. Look where they went. And if you come at night, you will not gain from your night except what you gain. Don't destroy your night. Fast from dunya and have iftar in akhirah. What is the ultimate gain of dunya? Desire and temptation and follow your ego. And what the reward for that? Nothing. Jahannam. Fire. One of the early people to ask him, how is your life? He said, I saw the life generate body. And after we have the body, we like it. After we like it, we lose it. After we lose it, we have a lot of hope. After we have a lot of hope, we die. You see, today, people eat organic, brother, organic. And plastic surgery, and this and that. And we try to look young, we try to look young. We did. And when we see somebody has material life, oh brother, look what he have. Even the one who doesn't have it, he wish to have it. By the way, he's miserable with nothing. Not the one who have it is happy, and not the one who are away is happy. Who will be happy? He said some of them. He said, if you know dunya is leaving you, it will be from the wisdom leaving her. That's it. If somebody you know for a fact is leaving you, leaving him, finished. It's very simple. Another say, the time will come later on. Dunya will eat your iman, the way the fire eat what's around. Ali ibn Abi Talib, he said, if you gain 6 quality, your Jannah will be your place, and you will save yourself from Jahannam. They asked him, what is that? He said, if you know Allah and you obey Him, and you get to know Shaitan and you disobey him, and to know the truth and you follow it, and you know the wrong and get away from it, and to know dunya and divorce it, and to know akhirah and run after it. And Al-Hasan al-Basri radiallahu anhu used to say, may Allah give rahmah to those who understand dunya is just an amana, and very soon they will give it to the owner. Dunya is a trust, and the owner of the trust will take it from you. And he used to say, whoever challenge you in your deen, challenging him. And whoever challenge you of dunya, leave him and don't do it. And Luqman alayhi salam, he said to his son, oh my son, dunya is a deep ocean and a lot of people is drowning in it. Don't do that. If you have to, make sure you have a boat. And this boat, make it from taqwa Allah and fill it with iman and sail it with tawakkul ala Allah, rely on Allah, and maybe you will be saved. And I hope you be among them. One of the early people used to say, dunya used to be, and I was not there. And I will die, and it's still there. And if I stay, I'm not going to stay. And if I enjoy, the enjoy will never stay. He said, Subhanallah, about the people of dunya. They're running so hard for something they will never achieve. And they worry about enjoyment, will never stay. And one of the early people, he said, did you see the ultimate enjoyment? Who has it? The lowest people in earth. Look today, the most richest people. Look at their manner on who they are. There's a topic. When a companion used to meet each other, what they talk about? Akhirah. By the way, what is the topic today? The topic today, we lost akhirah. We lost it. We lost it thinking. We lost it love. We lost it devotion. We lost it sacrifice. We lost it action. We lost it from every aspect. But we call ourselves a believer. The companion radiallahu anhum of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when they sleep, dream about Jannah. When they sit, Jannah. When they talk about Jannah, they worry about Jahannam. They compete to achieve the highest level in Jannah. Huh? Do you see what's going on? Huh? I do not know what to say. It's a lot. It's a lot. But it's not the talk. What happened again? This scholar, he said, when you talk about something, why? It is in your heart. By the way, if you talk about dunya, meaning this is what you have in your heart. Because if you have akhirah, you talk about akhirah. If you want akhirah, you talk about akhirah. You love akhirah. You aim for akhirah. You work for akhirah. What's the whole Quran all about? Warning us about dunya and make us into akhirah. Look at the adhan. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Come to salah. Come to success. How many verses in Quran? What is success? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us good ending. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala snatch love of dunya out of our heart and fill our heart with loving Allah and loving Rasulullah and loving the believer and loving akhirah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us from loving dunya. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us fear Jahannam, hellfire, like we see it. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us love Jannah, paradise, like we are seeing it. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make the ultimate love and the ultimate pleasure to think about Allah, to meet Allah, to see the beautiful face of Allah. Ameen, Ameen Ya Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. سبحانك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.